On the ancient caravan route to Memphis, and just 50 kilometers from Egypt's border with Libya, is one of the most mysterious of all oases. Siwa, the classic desert haven. Over 300,000 date palms create shade and the basis of the economy. Every Siwan family has a plot of land, an allotment on which they grow their daily food requirements. Agriculture hasn't changed for 1,000 years. No pesticide or fertilizer has ever been used. Thousands of tons of dates of all shapes and shades depend on the miracle of Siwa, its abundance of water. But this resource, bubbling up exuberantly from the center of the earth, is paradoxically Siwa's greatest threat. The excess that the land can't absorb runs off into the salt lakes that surround the oasis. And these saline inland waters are growing in size, nibbling at the edges of the date groves that lie on their shore. To compensate, farmers started to drill individual wells to irrigate their land and produce more.
Drilling wells, this new technology that we brought to Siwa, could be the most dangerous weapon that could impair the oasis, because as we drill wells, we are literally destroying the balances between the deep aquifers that provide the oasis with its water and the natural springs that have traditionally fed the series with water. The first thing is to stop drilling any man-made wells and to rely entirely on the natural springs in the oasis.
Now, for the first time, there are guidelines for new wells. Drilling for water has been in Abdul Rahim Musa's family for generations. He has the new technology, but is only allowed to practice his trade where the landowner has a very substantial plot to cultivate. According to Abdul Rahim, there's plenty of water for everyone to grow what they need, using the time-honored method of time-sharing. Every plot has a specific amount of time allocated each week for irrigation. Respect for each owner's right to water his land while accepting the restrictions is the answer.
When you look at the results of all these new springs, you realize that more damage is caused than benefits to individual farmers. Now they've built a wall along this side of the lake. It is supposed to keep the water from reaching the roots of the trees and killing them. It seems to work for the moment, anyway.
The emphasis is on maintaining and sharing older, deeper wells that have served Siwa for centuries. This is Cleopatra's Pool. Herodotus, the Greek historian, remarked on its qualities. Those same qualities are also the source of a new industry. This modern bottling factory is taking advantage of Siwa's plentiful, perfectly balanced pure water and delivering it around Egypt and the Middle East. The coexistence of these two types of water, sweet and saline, side by side, may seem to offer Siwa a fragile future. The huge deposit of rock salt at the bottom of the lakes could, in some way, be seen as the villain of the piece. But this natural resource has a crucial role to play. It's the basis for an important revival of traditional construction. The idea came from the original fortress town, now abandoned on a hill. The Shali may look like a Gaudi-esque sculpture, but until the last century, these salt and mud houses protected the inhabitants from outside invaders. Munir Naimatullah is harnessing the mighty power of salt combined with mud from the lake to make an upmarket sandcastle fantasy. It's called the Adrer Amelal, after the white mountain that casts its shadow over the spread of bohemian chic constructions.
Rock salt is a very strong material. It is the material that gives strength to the buildings. The mud is the mortar. When the different layers harden, they become as strong as a beam. They can carry their own weight.
The special technique had almost been lost when the Siwans moved down from their old homes. Modernizing meant concrete. Now master craftsmen pass on their skills to others. It's as much about designing as simply building. A new asphalt road has linked the oasis with the outside world, bringing new opportunities. And with the fashion for organic produce sweeping the west, Siwa is now fair trading its biggest commodity, dates. When Alexander the Great came to Siwa over 2,000 years ago, it was to ask the oracle an important question about his future. We don't know for sure what he asked, but the prophecy industry that kept Siwa on the map for hundreds of years is now being replaced by a new asset.
That oracle center in antique times is the same oracle center we have today, but the commodity is slightly different. The commodity that the Siwans have here, which is very precious, is that they have a very good chance at proving that sustainable development really works in making communities get out of the cycle of poverty.
The paradox of water, at once Siwa's greatest asset and its most imminent threat, is at the heart of the oasis development. If it can be managed correctly, then this remote oasis could be an oracle for the future.